Y'all, if this not some kind of drama, the lights just cut off and everything while I was talking, but it just quickly came back on. So we're gonna continue on in this, okay? Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I am Darian, and today I just want to jump in on the topic of purpose. I feel like just about everybody, has questioned, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I just want to speak on my journey and, just share with you anything that I have learned on my journey of discovering purpose, walking out purpose, and, you know, we can just get into it. So it is raining right now and thundering, and I'm sure lightning out there too, but we're just gonna get to that too. So the interesting thing, I guess, about my life is that I guess I never really started to wonder what my purpose is or if I'm even in my purpose, I think, until I got to like maybe my 20s. I want to say like my mid 20s. That's when I really started to think like, oh, I actually have a purpose. There's actually things out here to accomplish other than just like, my everyday career or everyday job or things like that. And I think it's so incredible that even though I didn't know what my purpose was, I didn't know if I was in my purpose, I don't even think I really gave too much thought to it in my younger years because I just kind of felt like, you know, I feel like how most people think you just get through life. You get up every day and do what you got to do to get through life. So I think I had like a moment where it was like, maybe I need to go deeper in this thing and seek out what I'm here for, because I feel like doing what I'm doing now, I don't know if I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life. So I feel like my discovery of purpose came from me actually being in a place of like, I need something more. I need something to change. This can't be my end all be all 50 years from now. Like, I cannot still be doing this 50 years from now because there's a level of fulfillment that I'm lacking in my life. You know what's so interesting to me is I feel like we spend so much time doing all these tasks and trying to build all these careers and go in all these directions that we think is our purpose or we think may make us fulfilled and happy and give us all the money we want and, the status and all this. But I have found that in me doing it that way, I actually was not in my purpose. I actually was kind of getting away from my purpose because I felt in my mind I had it the right way. I felt in my mind I was doing what was gonna, look good and quote unquote be good. And I guess you would say the world's eyes in the long run. And the reason I say the world's eyes is because what is truly my purpose, if I would have continued down that path, I would have probably either missed out completely on my purpose or it would have been even longer time that I would have been spent finding my actual purpose. So I look back on my life at this place, and now that I'm actually in my purpose and doing those things that I need to do to continue to walk out my purpose. And I realized that there were so many clues and so many things happening that were pointing me in the direction that I should have been going. There were so many things happening that were literally saying like, this is the way to go. And I just wasn't fully aware. I didn't know at the time that this was what I feel like God was saying, like, this is where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to be going. Here's some, like, I want to say clues is the best word I can think of that will help you to understand what I'm trying to get you to do and what I'm trying to get you to walk in. For me, it kind of awakened. Y'all, if this not some kind of drama, the lights just cut off and everything while I was talking, but it just quickly came back on. So we're going to continue on in this. Okay. So where I was going was, I'm going to just tell you like basically how I got to my purpose. Some of the things that I look back now and I realize that they were literally like clues to say like this is part of your purpose and this is, you know, where you're supposed to be going and the direction and path that you're supposed to be going. So, if you're not aware, I have a background in beauty, I have a background in makeup artistry, skincare, doing aesthetics. I love all of those kind of things. I've always been pretty girly and I've always had this very fabulous side to me. So I never thought that, I mean, now I look back and I see like there's a reason why my personality is my personality, why I act how I act. And I just have always been attracted to beauty, makeup, and all those things. There really wasn't a huge reason for me to be attracted to those things or have a love for those things because although, yes, I grew up around other women and, they knew about makeup and all those things, I don't think their interest was how it was for me when it came to makeup and all those things. So, for some reason, as a teenager, well, I couldn't wear makeup actually up until I was 16. So I just never really bothered to wear it because I couldn't wear it. But I do know around that age, I started to get into like a skincare routine. And I didn't know what I was doing, y'all, but I just knew I needed to have my skincare routine. I don't even know what really led me to start picking that up because I feel like that wasn't something that was really necessarily ingrained in me. I just all of a sudden wanted my skincare, my cleanser, and my moisturizer. And then I remember being in high school, someone introduced me to an eyeshadow palette at Target and some other makeup, and that just like I just like ran with it. Like I started making makeup looks, like eyeshadow looks, playing in makeup. It just was something that I felt like just made me feel good. I felt like I don't know what exactly I was feeling, but I think in that time as a teenager, it was like a escape for me. But it was a good escape. It was like I feel good creating looks. I feel good playing in makeup. There was something inside of me that just lit up. So the funny thing about it is that now I do YouTube. I have a beauty channel and I also do like vlogs and things like that. I remember being in high school watching beauty channels, watching vlogs, but I never thought that I would this day now be doing it. I remember during that age, this was when YouTube was actually really picking up when it came to doing beauty stuff. And, I don't even know if vlogs at that time was a big thing. I think it was kind of like people were starting to do it. But I remember at that age in high school, I had a camera and I used to like film myself. I actually had another YouTube channel that I just deleted all those old videos off because I was so embarrassed looking back at the makeup I did. Granted, I was in high school, but yeah, that's like hidden. But that was something that I just felt inspired and I did a few videos. It didn't stick with me. Honestly, I feel like there's a timing for things in life. And I feel like truly now it just wasn't my timing to do that. I truly believe that there's a specific timing for just things in life. I won't even say certain things. I feel like there is a divine timing for things to just happen in life. And it wasn't time for me to do that then, but I just felt like something inside, like the inspiration, or like maybe this is something that I could do. Like this is something that I should be doing. So fast forward a little bit, I'm still a teenager, still in high school. I'm starting to wear makeup. Y'all, some of them pictures I was looking back at years ago, I was like, I don't know how my parents let me walk out the house looking like this because I just don't know. I look back at some of the pictures that I took when I did makeup, but that's the beauty in life is that you grow over time. And for me to be that bold to even put that on at that age, I know my makeup looked good and continue on. I love it. I love it. Um, and I thank God for growth because, yeah, I've come a long way in that. But I'm like planning makeup, discovering this whole world of beauty and skincare and all these things. But at that point in my life, it was there, but I didn't know the significance of it in my life. So I think like a couple of years later, I know I had to be probably around that 18, 19, I don't even want to say 20 yet, years old, where I was like, I want to do something with makeup. Because prior to that, I was like asking family and people around me, could I do their makeup? And, that's how I started to build this love for, yes, I loved doing makeup and having makeup, but my love for doing makeup went from me loving to do it on myself and, try to figure out looks on myself to doing it on other people. So I decided to just step out and go on an audition to see if I would be somebody that would do makeup for models in a modeling group. And at that time, I just didn't feel like that was the opportunity for me. I just didn't like, I don't even think I got to go into it, but I just didn't feel like that space was a positive space for me. I did get compliments on how I did the makeup again, and that was still at a time where my skills were nowhere near to where they are now. But I just noticed that I would get complimented on how I did makeup, and people would actually look at what I was doing and like, oh, that looks good. That, you know, even though I thought, back then what makeup I was doing didn't look the best, like I was still turning heads in the work that I was doing. So that was like a form of affirmation for me in makeup. And then from there, now I'm an adult. So now it's time for me to go to college. It's time for me to get my education, the normal things that a lot of parents kind of lead their children to do. And honestly, I wasn't mad about it because me going to school and me getting my education, it has provided a very nice life for me. I'll say that. Even though I feel like my purpose was greater than just the job that I started out in, I feel that I was able to meet so many great people, and it provided also a very good life for me. It helped me to grow as a woman. I was going to say as an adult, but even as a woman, I learned how to start using my voice, speak up. I'm on a grown woman job now. So even though I was still fairly young when I started, it developed me in ways that I honestly don't even know how I would have developed, like socially and, just critically thinking in all those ways if I did not go that route. But I truly believe that when you have purpose, which I feel like everybody has a purpose, we're here for something. When you have purpose, you have a decision to choose to walk in that, but that purpose can prevail. You just got to push through whatever obstacles life will bring and know that you know that you know that this is what you're supposed to do and you're going to go for it. So it's time for me to go to school. So I just kind of like, even though I still wear makeup, like I used to do my full face every day. If I missed a day, it was very rare, but I used to wear makeup almost daily. I feel like for the entire 4 years of college. And if I didn't wear makeup, it probably was just a day that I was at home. But I was consistently wearing makeup and planning makeup, buying the latest makeup, buying the latest products. I just didn't really do anything with it professionally, or I wasn't trying to pursue anything professionally in that timing. So while I'm in school, I was focused on my school. I just was, looking fabulous with my makeup and rocking what I was purchasing. And then I do remember once I got comfortable in college and I was figuring out my career and I felt like pretty steady in that space of life, I started to get back into makeup. I started to actually build a makeup artistry kit. Honestly, I probably started to build that earlier, like when I did the whole tryout for the modeling group, that was like the start of me building a makeup artist kit. But I felt like I just kept buying makeup over time. Like that hunger inside of me to be a makeup artist and do makeup was definitely growing over the years. I just think I was so focused on school for a while that I kind of pushed that to the side. And then I feel like towards the middle to the end of college, I started to really try to reach out and branch out for opportunities and look for opportunities in makeup. I remember I reached out to a very popular bridal artist, makeup artist in my city, and I got turned down. I just messaged her and asked her, could I study under her? Could I learn under her? And honey, was rejected like nobody's business. But now I look at the things that I've been able to be a part of and accomplish at even a young age, and I realize certain things just can't happen because of what could happen if they did happen. So if I would have studied under her, again, if she's a big makeup artist, she could easily say, oh, I made her, I taught her how to do makeup. I learned how to do makeup on my own, and from the skills and everything God gave me, I just put in that work and started to learn on my own. So I look back and I'm so thankful to God for those opportunities not come into place. But I feel like sometimes we may look at things as like, oh, I was rejected. And I know this is cliche. You hear it all the time. Rejection is your protection. But sometimes it really is. So I'm like building my kit, like just like putting myself in these different spaces so that I can be around makeup, be around people that are doing makeup and stuff like that. Always been very ambitious, always been a go-getter, always knew what I wanted. Even if what I wanted was not what I needed, I was very persistent in pursuing it, and I'm still like that today. Like if I know I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm gonna find a way to make it happen. If I get knocked down, I'm gonna get back up and just keep it pushing. So eventually opportunities start to open up. I'm like, at this point, I think I had started an Instagram for doing makeup, and I just wanted to do makeup on people. I wanted to be a makeup artist. So I'm like posting people. At this point, I'm not even posting clients. I'm just posting makeup that I'm just doing on other people so I can start to build a following on social media and start to build a clientele, hopefully at some point. So I'm just posting, posting, posting. And I feel like out of nowhere, I would always use hashtags and stuff like that to kind of get my work like out there. I felt like at that time, hashtags were really good when it came to social media. I feel like now things have changed a little bit. Now you have the algorithm does different things now, but I knew at that time hashtags were definitely something that was getting my page to be seen because it was like out of nowhere. I wasn't praying for this. I wasn't looking for this necessarily. I'm glad the opportunity came, but I wasn't just like sitting in my room. Like, I just hope that a fashion designer or someone who recruits models just reaches out to me. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity because out of nowhere, I out of nowhere, they were together at first. They were partnered together. This company reaches out to me, and then I think it just started as like liking pictures and stuff. It wasn't nothing weird at first. They reached out and then just started to try to work with me. But eventually they did reach out, and I was so just thinking back to the opportunity now, just how it just came because it's a part of my purpose. It's a part of just where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I eventually started working with the group, and it was me doing makeup, a hairstylist, fashion designer, and someone that was like recruiting the models and everything like that. And even though I was so fresh in this thing, so new, just you know how kids just have this like excitement about life? That's how I was at that time when this opportunity had came around, because it's like now looking back, I don't even think I realized how big that was at that time. And I was just again, starting out, branching out, trying to just see what's out there for me to do. So that led to me doing models makeup at fashion shows, doing photo shoots. Me doing those models makeup at fashion shows allowed me to grow my skills rapidly. It allowed me to see what potential I have and had in this beauty and business and beauty I guess world as a makeup artist. It allowed me to just brush up on my skills. I improved so much. It allowed me to know how to work with other people in the beauty industry, not just in makeup, but in modeling, in fashion design, and all these things, and learn about the business. Even though I wasn't necessarily being paid, it kind of is what I would consider like volunteer work. I was so grateful and so happy because of the opportunity, and that opportunity led to me going further into this thing in the future. So I'm like, doing models makeup, there were times where I literally had 5 minutes to do a face. Like the show was starting and we need makeup on this model like now, and I just had to figure it out. There were times where I have never worked in environments at that time that felt as stressful as that, but during it all I was so just taking it in and happy for the opportunities. And I'm just thinking back now, like it just continued to lead from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity to actually being able to be published in different magazines and stuff. And I think about it now, and I still didn't know how how great of an accomplishment that was then. Even now, like as I'm saying it, I know that that's a good thing, but I think in my mind I still have in my heart like there's greater, there's greater, there's greater. And so I'm grateful for those opportunities to meet people, the opportunity to grow in what I know I am supposed to be doing, the opportunity to just experience something that gave me greater vision for my life. And I want to actually talk about these two things while they're on my mind and on my heart. So remember, I told you in high school, I had me a little camera. That's actually what I believe I asked my parents for Christmas, was a camera. So I had this camera, and even though I had it, I didn't really, like I said, go deep into the whole making all these makeup videos. I made a couple and posted them on YouTube at the time, and I don't think I had the confidence then. I don't think I was developed then to continue in that timing. So back to divine timing and, God's perfect timing. There I see now was a time that I was supposed to be starting those things up and doing those things. And I feel like even though, people start at whatever time they start, for me, if I would have started then, I just wouldn't have been ready. And yeah, I wouldn't have been ready. Okay, so this is the things I want to talk about. So there is a big influencer. I feel like she was big back then. But there's a big influencer that I went to Disney's Food and Wine Festival. This was years ago with some friends from school. And back then, I've never been like really big on like, I guess, being on social media all day. And I don't even think social media was where it is now. I feel like now people are on social media more, and posting is a really big thing. Back then, reels were not even a thing. I think you could still post videos, but reels weren't really a thing like how they are now. So this had to be at least, how old am I now? This had to be like 7 or 8 years ago. And I was at the Food and Wine Festival, and the influencer was with her boyfriend at the time. And I was like, this person looks so familiar. Big, now very big in the beauty industry. And I was like, this person looks so familiar. And I was like, are you? And I said the name. And she was like, yeah. And this turned back around, and it's not, she was nice. Like, she was like cordial or whatever. But I was just like, so like in shock. Like, I think I was given off a very awkward kind of vibe. I didn't really like continue to talk because I kind of feel like I get weird in situations like that. Like I still see people with a big following and celebrities as regular people. So in that moment, it was just kind of like, this is her, like right in front of me. That moment happened, but I never thought of it as like, oh, this is probably a sign. Now looking back, then I see that this is a sign that this might be the path that you're gonna be going into. Everything went back to normal. Like they were still in front of us in line, and I was with my friends and still like just waiting in line and talking and stuff. But now I look back and I'm like, if that's not a clear sign, wow. Because now what am I doing? I'm posting beauty videos. It's not necessarily that I just wanted to do this. I truly know that God has led me to this direction because I thought I actually was going to be just fully focused on building a beauty business, like doing makeup clients and all that. But I went through a transition in my life, a shift in my life, and this is the direction that I've been led into. So the other thing I wanted to mention was this was around the same kind of age, around the same kind of time frame as when what I just talked about happened. So at that time, I had a group of friends and I ended up buying this Canon camera, and I still have that camera. It's so funny to me because I didn't really know why I bought it then. I didn't really have a reason then. But years later, so like a year or two prior to now, I started using it to make YouTube videos. And again, I wasn't trying to make YouTube videos. I just felt like this is where I was being led now in my career. Like being an influencer, I feel like is an amazing thing to do, but it just wasn't what I guess felt like I'm supposed to be doing. Like me even now talking to this camera and talking to you guys, this is not like I wasn't sitting like as a little girl like in my room like this is what I'm going to do when I grow up. Like this is where I'm trying to go. And I respect the space and I respect the opportunities that come from it, but this just is not what I had planned. I feel like my plan honestly was to just make so much money in that business that I could like now retire myself from the job that I was working and now just fully function in my own beauty business that way. You know, I feel like truly we think we have life figured out and God said no. Like I'm finna show you what you finna do so you can be even bigger than what you thought you was finna be doing this. Like literally my business was thriving and growing so fast, and then like out of nowhere it just like stopped. It just stopped, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, did somebody try to curse my business or something? But you know, seeking God, he showed me that there's another direction I want you to take. So I had to make the choice to literally shut it down and now go this route. And it's a journey, but I know that I'm on the right path. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is that a lot of times when you're in purpose, there will be things and people that will try to talk you out of your purpose or will try to plant seeds, and they may not even know that they're planting demonic seeds in your life. They may not even realize that what they're saying will have an effect on your life. And though what was said to me was wrong, honestly, you grow. Like I was like 21, 22 around that age when this was said to me. So I was on a trip with a group of people, and I was like taking I was like fake vlogging. I wasn't really vlogging myself to post and make videos. And I now that I don't even know why I was doing this, but I was in a whole nother city and I just had the camera up and I went outside and I was like talking as if I was vlogging, and I was like just fake vlogging parts of the trip, just me being me, and filming those moments. And I didn't remember this when it happened, but I went back on footage. This was about, it's deleted now because once I saw it, I was like, this is so negative. But I deleted the footage before I started my beauty channel on my other page. So I deleted the footage, and one of the persons was like, "You look so stupid." And this was while I was like fake vlogging or whatever. They're like, "You look so stupid." If I would have let that negative seed be sown into my spirit, and now I vlog, and now I film videos in my life for YouTube. If I would have let that sink into my soul and really walked around here feeling like I look, whatever way, I would not be doing what part of my purpose is. I would not be doing what I am called to do now. And so I just want to say that you have to be very aware of the type of people that you have around you. You have to be very aware of who is speaking into your life. At that age, clearly that just like slipped off of me. Like it was like water that just bounced off of me, because I honestly didn't even remember that. But when I had the footage and I actually heard that, I think that kind of like brought it back. And I was like, these were the type of people that I was around. And so now I carry that with me. If there's somebody around me that's speaking death to my dreams and my purpose and the things that I'm supposed to be doing, I have to cut that off. I have to, if you have to say something, say something. But if it continues, you have to be willing to, if you want to walk in your purpose, cut that thing off and move on. And so I say all of that to say, now fast forward to today, things are just like, I feel like they're falling into alignment. So quickly, I'll touch on how I just continued to have this desire and drive for beauty and the things of beauty. Like if there was an event I could attend for free at like a department store, I would try to go to things like that. And so I continued to seek opportunities. I had this drive like built up inside of me. Like I need to go to beauty school. Like I want to go to beauty school. I found out how much it would be, and I saved up my money while I was working. And I was like, I'm going to go to beauty school. So I literally would work during the night, and then I would go to school during the day, because it was just in me that I need to get my beauty license. And then I go and I just started buying all this stuff for aesthetics so I can do facials on people, because I was just so inspired and I just wanted to be taken serious as a makeup artist. And again, I've always been very driven, determined. I'm going to make it happen. Some kind of way. If I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm going to make it happen. And I put myself through school, and it's time for me to start this beauty business. At the time, the name was cute. The name was fitting for who I was and where I was. I still was a young girl, and I'm still young, but I was like in that like naive young girl phase. So I had like a cute little name for where I was at that phase in life. And I was just building my clientele, building my audience, and people were coming. I was so scared, and I had naysayers. I had people saying like, well, if you're working and you start a business, it's going to be too much to pay your taxes, like all kinds of things I've heard. But I did not let that stop me, because I knew that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. And clients started to come, and they came back. That's the main thing. You can get clients to come, but you want your clients to continue to come back. You want them to believe in you, and you want them to believe that your service is good. And so I felt fulfilled in that. It was more than just doing makeup. As I started to continue to go into it, I realized that I love the look on a person's face once I do their makeup, and they just light up. They just feel so beautiful. Not that they weren't beautiful before, but to see like that confidence boost, to see like, when you got your makeup done and you just feel like, yes, girl, I'm the one. I just, I love to see that, and I love to see women feel good about themselves. Well, really anybody feel good about themselves, but my clients were basically almost all women. So to see them like come and feel change, and not even just with the makeup, when I would do a facial, to see like the whole demeanor change and a person feel confident now about their skin. And before they came to me, they weren't feeling that way. But now you're saying that you got a facial from me and your skin is clearing up, or you feel confident now in your own skin. That is what's not made me want to continue on and doing what I was doing, because I already loved it. But it just made me like realize like, you're making an impact in this space. You're supposed to be doing this. So fast forward to like, I have this whole like life crisis. Really, I felt like it was a divine appointment for me to really like kind of like wake up and realize this new direction that I was being taken taken in, and I had to surrender to this new place. I felt like God was like, okay, so I've allowed you to go this far, trying to figure it out and do it your way. Now I'm going to instruct you and show you the way that I want it done now. All right, I'm going to take you through this process. And not only was the makeup thing and the beauty thing, not only was that a process for me, but it also was just overall in my life. Like I just went through a whole transformation and went through a whole like just season of just like, I feel like maturing and growing in clarity. And it was just, again, I say crisis, but that crisis led me to becoming the woman that I am today. That crisis led me into changing into this new version of me that I am today. So I shut down the business. I didn't want to. I wasn't trying to, but I knew that, well, I didn't fully know, but I knew that I needed to do it because of the place of obedience that I was in and still am in. But I just was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And this don't make sense to me. And I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna trust that this is the right decision for me to make. So then I'm like led into, I had like some time to like go through my whole transformation and healing and all these things, spiritual growth and everything. I went through my whole like season of that, and I kind of let beauty go. I kind of let the whole makeup and skincare go, and I had to rediscover who I was and rediscover what all of that meant to me. Like a lot of the superficialness that I had inside of me, not necessarily because of wearing makeup or anything like that, but I just had to really like go through this pruning side of me, this pruning process. And I had to really figure out who I was, and just so much change for me. So then when I was like around this really good mentorship group at the time, and it just really helped to bring to perspective. Like she had like, actually the lady that was over it, she like re-spoke back into me like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, go forth. Like God is saying, restart this thing up, but in a different way. And when I say that, I just mean like the whole direction and everything. She was like, basically, run with it, like run with this. And so I feel like I had went through a phase of feeling like defeated because I had put it down. So I felt like, okay, it's put down now. So now how am I supposed to just restart again? How am I supposed to just like I felt like I was being built up, and then it just like came down. It just was like, I guess, trying to rediscover how to rebranch out, restart. And it did take a couple of years. It did. I had to get through the emotions of it all, because I think sometimes we get so tied into what we're doing, and that becomes like our, I don't know if personality is the word, but it definitely had become like, I don't even know if I would say an idol, But it definitely had become I felt like I was doing something that I was supposed to be doing, impactful, of course. So it is kind of weird to just like put all that down, even if it's for a moment, and just not really know how life is going to go after that, not really know what direction life really is going to take you. At the time, I just couldn't understand why, but now I realize I needed that time. I needed that time. I needed to rebrand myself, because who I was when I started that business, I am not her anymore. I don't even like the way I branded myself then. Don't even want that now. And imagine if I would have, I look back now and think about things like that. Imagine if I would have just made it bigger, went all the way to the top of what I feel like would have been the biggest success level for me in that business. And then all of a sudden you want to rebrand. Do you know how big of a loss that could have been for me? Or once I feel like you make it big and so many eyes are on you and you're at a certain place, I feel like people can get stuck at that place that you're at then and not really know how to transition with you in a new place. And I've grown a lot. Again, I was very naive back then, and I was doing the what I feel like I needed to do at that time. But I see now why I couldn't reach that highest level of success that I saw in my mind at that time, because I had a lot of transformation to go through, and I had to pick up this new version of me and new business mindset and new all of that. I had to repick it up. It's not that I don't desire to still do makeup on clients and facials and everything, but I've embraced this new place. Now clients are starting to ask me to do makeup, and it's been sporadically because I'm working on other things too at this season in my life. And it's almost like it's not that I don't want to do it, but I think I just had gotten to a place of not doing it like how I was, and acceptance of the new route that is like now that it's coming back, I'm learning to re-navigate that, and I'm still learning how I want to move forward in that. I'm one of these people that I feel like my hands are busy in different avenues, and I've always been like that. Like I've been pretty good at multitasking and pretty good at building things, and that's something I love to do, just build what I believe in. I don't mind putting the work in to build. Sometimes when we put something down, we think that that's the end of it and that something greater is not coming. But to be honest, I'm still growing my social media. I'm still growing my following. Again, like I said, I haven't been one of these people that's like really into social media, like posting all the time. As of lately, I've gotten into it, but in the past, social media was not something that I was trying to like be fooled up with. I'm just, I don't know. I just one of those people that I live my life off of social media. Like, yes, I post, but I actually do. I like to be busy and doing stuff in my life. And so, stepping into this new place, that's what was hard for me is, and still is something that I'm working through, is being uncomfortable by doing something that I'm not really used to or care for, like posting all the time. I love creating content and I love making content, but again, this wasn't the vision that I had for myself, but this is a vision that I am following and believing that it's going to end up greater than I could have imagined because of my obedience. So I have worked with a beauty brand to do content for them, makeup brand with a legacy. And so that's been like another confirmation. And just as I continue on this path, it's like things are just continue to align. So I told you my story to give you a view into my life so that you can hopefully take that and look back at your life and look back at those signs and those things that you have been a part of and that may not all the way have made sense when it was happening, but now that you're older or closer, to achieving your destiny or whatever it is, your purpose, you can see like, hey, this did happen back then, and now I see it's related to this. Now I see that it's related to this purpose that I'm walking out now. And even if you're not walking out your purpose, I realize now in my life that nothing has been a coincidence. Literally nothing has been a coincidence. It's a commitment. You have to be committed to it. You don't have to walk out your purpose if you don't want to, but I just chose that I want to do this because I feel like what I felt like all of my purpose was going to be is going to actually be greater as I'm walking it out. So before I go, I did write some things down to help those that may feel like I don't even know what my purpose is. I don't even have an idea. Or even if you do know, hopefully what I wrote down will be able to help you to, you know, like navigate or go even further or just have some wisdom and insight to take with you from watching this video. So one of the things that I wrote down was I was already doing things that were related to my purpose. Now, I feel that doing makeup and beauty and all that thing is a part of my purpose, but later down the line, when I was a part of that mentorship, it was revealed to me that part of my purpose is to help women to feel beautiful, to feel confident in themselves. Yes, I was doing it at that time with applying makeup on people and working on their skin, but even in new seasons, I've done that talking to people in a video. I've done that seeing a woman on the street and just complimenting her. You know, you don't know what people are being told at home. You don't know what people are going through, how people really see themselves. And so sometimes that one compliment can truly make someone's day. So the things that were a part of my purpose, I literally already had them happen in my life. I was doing those things in my life. The opportunities to do those fashion shows, to work with the models, to have work published, those opportunities were not just a happenstance. They were not just a coincidence in my life. Now that I look at the fullness of what I've already been able to walk in. So my purpose and the things that I was supposed to be doing in accordance with my purpose were already being lined up in my life. And those signs were already there to lead me further down in what I was supposed to be doing. So the next thing I want to mention is, like I said, I went through a season of spiritual transformation and going deeper with God and a relationship with God and seeking Him about my life and the things that I was supposed to be doing. And I still do that now about the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I felt like that's when things just started to make more sense for me. Things started to click. Things started to come together. And even then, it hasn't all been revealed to me at once. I feel like as I just started to be obedient and do these things, and even back then when I didn't even know that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, as I just continue on, everything just was aligning and things were being revealed to me as I went on. I do actually believe that a person may not necessarily know that they're in their purpose and they're in their purpose. I believe that a person could just be out here just doing whatever, doing, their everyday life and not even realize that you're accomplishing your purpose. I don't feel like because I did this specific thing that meant that now I'm allowed to be in my purpose, or now only because I did this, now my purpose has only been revealed. I think everybody's life is different. I think everybody comes into a knowing at different moments, obviously, because we're different. So even though I found out my purpose, in my 20s, somebody may find their purpose at 10. Another person may find their purpose at 30 or 40. I do believe that some of the things that we're doing in our life can either delay or, speed up us getting to our purpose. So I definitely actually do feel that is true. One of the next things I want to mention is that things were opening up for me. I think sometimes we try to force things in our life, and I was at a period where I was trying to force what my purpose was. I was trying to convince myself that one thing was my purpose because I was helping others, but I wasn't fulfilled. I was helping others, but it wasn't the way that I was designed to help others. And so that emptiness was still inside of me. So I feel like when we try to force things, even force things to be our purpose, you may find that you are still missing something, or you feel like you're lacking in something, or you may be actually in part of your purpose, but you're not fully in that actualization of the purpose that you're supposed to be walking in at that very moment. And again, I feel like that could lead to that emptiness inside. So don't be afraid to seek your purpose if that's what you're looking for, if that's where you're trying to go. Don't be afraid to really question, what is my purpose? We question things for a reason. And I believe it's because we're supposed to know. We're supposed to be finding that out. So, yeah. So, the next thing I want to mention is that when we're in purpose, I feel that things will prosper. So when I was doing the business and starting a business and even just doing makeup in other ways, like I said, opportunities were opening up for me. And I went from a place of being scared because I'm like, I'm about to rent out a place and start my own business. How are people going to come? But it just grew, it prospered. And I did it for over a year, I want to say. But it just grew and it prospered quickly. Even though I had that moment where it stopped, but that was because my timing for doing it then was over, and it was time for me to shift and pivot into the next thing. So I feel like when you're actually doing something that you're meant to do, there's gonna be prosperity in it. It's not gonna feel like I'm just wasting my time, or what I'm doing is like worthless. It shouldn't feel like that if you're truly in purpose. That fulfillment is definitely there. Y'all, I was still working my other career and taking my clients when I was off, and I loved it. I was tired at times because I worked a full-time job, but I loved it. Like, you couldn't tell me not to do it. I would come in my off time, even if it was just one client for that one day. I would stay up if I had to, from being off of work, and take my clients because I knew that that's what fulfilled me in that time. That's what made me happy. And I didn't have to force things to happen for me. They just happened. It just all aligned. Just remember that some things are seasonal. So your purpose may still be your purpose, but it may be walked out differently in different seasons. So I got to see that for my life, that I was working and that's how it was being made manifest. Or before that, I was just taking gigs as they were coming, and that's how it's being manifest. Now I'm in a whole new season and doing things differently, and my purpose is being walked out and manifest in a whole different way. And oh my goodness, I want to mention this because I remember I used to be, no offense, Android, but I used to be team Android. Like, I was walking around saying team Android, like, I'm not going to switch up. And I remember one day, this was years ago, a few years ago, I just got out of bed. I was out and about, and I just out of nowhere was like, I'm about to go get an iPhone. I hadn't been thinking about an iPhone. I wasn't like, planning to buy one anytime soon because, again, I was team Android, and I just felt like, we had our loyalties then. Now I'm team iPhone. But I had no intent on switching. And I just went to the phone place and I just got an iPhone. I didn't know why. There was no it wasn't an anxiousness. It wasn't like I was trying to keep up, or I wasn't trying to necessarily adjust to anything. Got the iPhone, and in a prior season when I was going through like my transformation and crisis, I was led to start a podcast. Never thought about starting a podcast. Never been one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to just start a podcast. Honestly, I just was always comfortable behind the scenes. So the fact that I'm even doing this today now is because this is what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And I pushed through out of my natural propensity to stay in the background, and I just get the stuff done because I know it needs to be done. But I kept getting these signs to start a podcast. Like, everywhere I went, it would not leave me until I started it. So I was obedient and I started a podcast. Me being obedient then, now because I didn't have my YouTube channel and all that when I first started, that actually gave me the confidence to kind of step out and move into this new place that I was supposed to be in. So, in me doing that, just getting an iPhone, I had the equipment and the tools that I needed to be able to do what I needed to do. With my Android phone at that time, I didn't know how to do the podcast and put it all together. Now, once I got the podcast out the way, when it was time for me to switch to YouTube, I have a whole editing software on my phone. I have all these things that I was able to learn how to navigate to do with this phone that I have. Well, I've upgraded since then, but you get what I'm saying. So I look at stuff like that, like we don't even realize sometimes why things are happening the way they're happening. Look where I'm at today. Like when I first started editing, I was editing on my phone. I wasn't editing on a computer really. That was actually taking me longer than to just do it on my phone. And so those small steps of just trusting what I'm feeling on the inside has led to other things. So that is it, you guys, for this video. I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. I thank you so much for everyone who has made it to the end. And I hope that this has inspired you on your journey for finding purpose. It's just a thing we choose to walk out, and I don't feel like anyone's journey is going to be exactly the same at all. We're all different people, and I just feel like you just have to be discerning and know what's happening in your life. Look back on those things that have happened and look at those things that are even happening now. What doors are being opened in your life? What opportunities are coming your way? What do people keep saying that you're good at? Are you good at cooking? Are you good at making people laugh? Are you good at sports? Whatever it is, what are people saying that you're good at? Because a lot of times when people keep repeating stuff too in your life, that might be part of your purpose. That might be where you need to go or what you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.